Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Give and take is the key to a happy relationship. Our OP gave his employees a lot of slack, but in return, he expected them to step up when it counts. Details upcoming right after a short pause. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. A little story from a now retired manager. I'll share my story, which is from the manager perspective. I'll add in the obligatory, this didn't happen today, but a few years ago. I was part of a security team for a large public building. Since the building had to be available to the public for more than 8 hours per day, we had 2 shifts. Early shift, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., and late shift, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I was the supervisor on the late shift. My staff consisted of me and 6 guards, including a guy all called Jersey. The building closed at 5 p.m., which meant no more people could come in, but the employees and public inside could finish their business and leave. At the end of the day, our job was to ensure the building was clear of people, lock all the appropriate interior doors, set the alarms, and leave at 6. Since it didn't take 7 of us to complete this, I would allow all staff except one to leave about 5:15 or 5:30. By then, 90% of the people were gone. The daily designated staff member and I could handle the closing tasks. The staff would rotate who stayed with me each day, and the system worked out well for all involved. This meant everyone was getting off work 30 to 45 minutes early every day and getting paid for a full day. One morning about 9:30, we had a minor crisis in the building, and I needed a staff member to handle it. I knew it would take most of the day, so I didn't want one of the early shift guys to handle it, or it would incur overtime. 2 or 3 of my guys, including Jersey, were in the locker room getting ready to start their shift. I asked Jersey to grab his gear and go handle the issue. He looked at me and said, technically, I ain't on the clock yet. I told him he was correct and to never mind. I grabbed a day shift person to handle the issue, and the day progressed as normal. 5:15 rolls around, and I wander into the locker room. I see my guys all getting ready to leave, including Jersey. I asked them where they were going. They told me which employee was staying with me and that he was still at his post. I glanced around the room, then locked eyes with Jersey and said, you're technically all still on the clock. Nobody leaves before 6. It was dead silent as I walked out of the locker room. I have no idea what was said to him in the locker room, but I bet it wasn't pretty. We all stayed late that day, and no one said a word about it to me. However, the following morning, Jersey was in my office waiting for me when I arrived. He said, "Hey, boss, I'm sorry about yesterday morning. I was out of line. You won't hear that from me ever again. Whatever you need, I'm here." We returned to normal operations after that, and I had no trouble getting someone to step up on occasion. As a boss, I'll do whatever I can to take care of my employees, but I expect a little flexibility from them in return. And our second story. Mama Karen wanted me to turn off my TV when her family walks by my apartment. I just moved into an apartment last week. So far, everyone I've met in passing has been nice. No one's been too loud at unreasonable hours, arguing with each other, stealing parking spaces, and other typical shared space craziness. Yet, at least. Only been here a week. I did, however, encounter a Mama Karen and her 6-year-old son. My apartment's one of those half-in-the-ground units with 2 other floors on top. As such, the top of my patio wall is level to the walking path. If I have my blinds open, you can easily see into my living room and kitchen. This honestly doesn't bother me. The weather's finally really nice here, so after work yesterday, I opened my patio sliding door and blinds to let the cooler air in while playing some Minecraft. After a while, I could hear a couple of women talking outside a few units down, just general chit-chat. I also heard a smaller kid running around, messing with the gravel along the pathways and generally just being a bored kid while Mommy talked with her friend. Really no big deal at all. Then it happened. I heard one of the women call for the kid. "Jason! Jason! Jason, get over here! Jason!" I looked up to see the kid standing on the path next to my unit, transfixed on the TV. Uh-oh, he didn't answer quick enough. Mama Karen came stomping over to him and jerked his arm to force him to look at her while she yelled in his face about answering her and to not watch TV, especially someone else's. I thought the way she was acting was overkill, but let it be. He's not my kid, and I'm not a parent at all, just to my fur babies, 2 cats. I did pay attention for if things got worse to jump in, but I didn't stare. I only looked over when she called out to me to apologize for her son. Note, not for her behavior. I said it was fine. Mama Karen took him back over to her friend, and they continued talking. Eventually, the kid started playing around near them again. Soon he was back over at my patio, looking in, watching me play. Soon after that, I hear Mama Karen yell at him again. This time I jumped up and went to my patio door. I tried to interject to say I truly didn't mind that he was watching me play. This is where the Karen aspect comes in. She turned to me, sickly sweet, the demon gone for the moment, and kindly explained that dear Jason was grounded and not allowed to even look at a TV. I said a bummer, dude, to him in sympathy. She didn't like that I addressed him and not her. I also don't think she liked that I showed him sympathy instead of instantly taking her side, even though I had no idea why he was punished in the first place. I wouldn't doubt if it was some asinine, non-existent reason on her part or her being bothered by normal child behaviors. She then asked me something that blew my mind. Can you please shut off your TV when we're out here? We're usually out here for some outside time for about an hour a day. Or you can just shut your window and blinds. NGL, the people pleaser I've been raised to be, almost said, oh sure, no problem, and was going to do it. Then I stopped myself thinking, what? Telling me what to do in my house? I'm trying to have a shinier spine. I told her, no, I won't. Oh boy, that sure as hell is her trigger word. I thought she was gonna reach in and jerk me around and yell at me like I was her child. The look was so instantly pissed off. She again explained the situation, fully expecting me to cooperate this time. She laid out her case. She made the demand again, not a faux question this time. I again told her, no. I came home to relax, and this is how I do it. She asked me if I have kids. Uh-oh, I'm solidly child-free, and according to the laws of parenting, my thoughts and opinions are completely and instantly invalid unless I pop out at least one entire, mostly full-term crotch spawn. I told her no, and she smirked. I thought so. I was ready for a lecture on how to handle kids properly or something, but she just went away back towards the other woman, who I assume was still there. She said something as she went, but I didn't really hear it, so I don't know if it was to me, her son, or her friend, maybe even grumbling to herself. I hadn't seen those two before yesterday, but apparently they're out there for at least an hour a day around that time. There's a pool, a few barbecue pits, and a grassy area outside my unit in between the surrounding units and buildings. I get to see all the good doggos walk by me, and it makes my day. I really hope she doesn't cause issues for me. I just want to live there and not be bothered. I'm not going to help her parent her child. No one else in the whole world should be expected to except her. I just don't get how she thinks she can ask a total stranger to turn off the TV in their home because she's punishing her child in hers. I bet she thinks she's the queen of the complex and doesn't think twice about ordering people around. What a bee. And our last story. Entitled cousin demands his mother rewrite her will so he gets his fair share after living rent-free in the home for over 4 decades. Never posted before, but I had to share the story of my cousin. We'll call him Mark. His would be the picture next to entitled in the dictionary. All 400 pounds of him. He found out that his mother had stage 4 throat cancer and there was nothing the doctors could do to help at that point. So naturally, his response was to get angry when she asked his youngest sibling to come take care of her during her final days. His father had a stroke years ago, karma got him, and this sibling would be given the house after their mother died to be able to continue caring for their dad. Mark was furious that the house wasn't going to be sold and he'd get his fair share from the sale. To lay some background, Mark was over 45. Never lived outside his parents' home, expected his mother to cook, clean, do his laundry, etc., without paying a single dime toward rent, utilities, etc. He spent the money he earned on whatever he wanted, usually food and beer, hence his huge size. When he found out that his mother wasn't going to change her will and he was going to give the house and everything in it to the youngest sibling, he threatened to burn the house down after barricading the exits from outside so that no one could get out. He thought he had the police in his town in his back pocket, but when my mom heard the threat, she got his mom to record what was said. When it was played for the police department, they had no clue who Mark was and promised if anything like that happened at the address given, he would be their first arrest. To show how ungrateful this cousin was, he went out and got dinner for the family at a fast food place and then stood over his mom in her hospice bed with his hand out until she paid him back for dinner, most of which he ate since his father hardly eats anything. When she died, it took way too long for his siblings to get him out of the house, but he finally left and found his own place. Here's where the karma came back to bite him. Kinda. He was working somewhere that they would direct cars where to go, and the poor older man in the car he was motioning hit the gas instead of the brake and slammed Mark into the parked car behind him, messing up his legs from the knees down. A few months later, he was back in the hospital because his diabetes was out of control and he hadn't taken care of his legs like he should have. The doctors were good at their jobs and saved his legs. Now he's living in an old trailer because he blew all the money he was paid at work as compensation. He was a horrible brother to his youngest sibling and a terrible cousin, so he deserves to suffer for his give me what I want because I want it now attitude. I'm completely no contact with him and his older brother because they are scum. The fact the other siblings turned out to be productive and wonderful humans is due to their mother's wonderful love and teaching. I miss her. She was like a second mom to me. There are 5-year-olds better behaved than your cousin Mark. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.